Salve, listeners, or hello in Latin, and welcome to Echoes of Empire, the podcast where we travel back in time to uncover the architectural wonders of ancient Rome. I'm your host, Eric Stanton, and today's episode is dedicated to one building that defied gravity, challenged time, and continues to influence modern architecture: the Pantheon. Many of you have most likely heard of it. You've maybe even seen a photo or been there. But today, we'll deep dive into the how, the why, and the wow. We've got three immersive segments ahead, each separated by music inspired by ancient Rome, harps, opera, and a little theatrical flair. Let's open the doors to history and step inside the Pantheon. Picture this. It's the year 125 AD. You're walking through the bustling streets of Rome. Market vendors shout in Latin, chariots rumble by, and in the distance, a colossal building rises above the city. It's unlike anything you've ever seen. A a round rotunda with a massive dome, perfectly symmetrical, topped with a bronze-clad roof. That's the Pantheon. The word pantheon means all gods, and originally it was built as a temple to honor the entire Roman pantheon: Jupiter, Venus, Mars, and all the other Roman gods. The first version was constructed around 27 BCE by Marcus Agrippa, a close friend and general of Emperor Augustus. But that structure burned down. The version that still stands today was rebuilt by Emperor Hadrian between 118 and 128 AD. Now, here's a cool detail. Hadrian didn't even put his own name on the building. Instead, the front of the temple still bears the original inscription honoring Agrippa, which means Marcus Agrippa, son of Lucius, built this when he was consul for the third time. So, even though Hadrian rebuilt it, he gave credit to the past, just one of many layers that make this structure more than stone and mortar. Let's move from myth to mechanics. How exactly did the Romans build the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world and make it last almost 2,000 years? Let's start with the basics. Concrete. Roman concrete wasn't like ours today. They used a brilliant mix of volcanic ash, lime, and seawater to create a material so durable some modern scientists still study it. It could set underwater and even grow stronger over time. But that alone didn't solve all the problems the Romans were facing. They were building a dome wider than anything that had ever been attempted, and without the steel reinforcements that we still use today. So, how did they do it? First came the foundation, dug deep to support the massive structure. Then the rotunda walls, over 20 feet thick at the base. They were built up in layers, using a mix of concrete and bricks. These weren't just solid walls, they were engineering masterpieces, embedded with hidden arches that redistributed weight. When it came to build the dome, Roman engineers constructed a massive wooden mold called a centring, basically a dome-shaped skeleton. Over this, they poured concrete in horizontal layers, getting lighter with each level. At the base, they used heavy materials like basalt, and at the top, pumice, a volcanic rock so light it floats in water. To make the dome lighter, they also carved coffers, square indentations in the ceiling that look beautiful but serve a structural purpose as well, removing unnecessary weight. At the center, they left a 30-foot wide opening called the oculus. This is the only source of natural light in the building, and it's not just for aesthetics. It actually relieves stress at the top of the dome, preventing it from collapsing under its own weight. And here's the kicker. This engineering miracle was completed in about 8 to 10 years. That's faster than some modern sports stadiums. No cranes, no electricity, just scaffolding, manpower, and math. So, what was the Pantheon used for? The Pantheon wasn't a place for a public worship like modern churches. Instead, it served as a temple for private ceremonies, used by emperors and priests to honor the gods and ask for a divine favor. Its circular design and dome symbolized the cosmos, with the oculus as the sun, a heavenly space on earth. So, we've explored the Pantheon's purpose and its construction. But why does it still matter? Why are we talking about a Roman building in the 21st century? Because the Pantheon didn't just survive, it inspired. The design has echoed through history, shaping some of the most famous buildings in the modern world. The U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C., and most state capitals in the United States. The Pantheon in Paris, which was directly named after it, and St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City, just nearby, and countless museums, banks, libraries, and memorials worldwide. That massive dome, architects have copied it again and again. Even the idea of using natural light to create a sacred space, which the Pantheon did using its oculus, is something that modern architects still study today. But here's something people often miss. The Pantheon isn't a ruin. It's still fully functional. Since the 7th century, it's been a Catholic church, known as the Basilica of Saint Mary and the Martyrs. Weddings are held there, Mass is celebrated, and tourists walk through its ancient columns and look up in the sky like the Romans did. It's like living in a time capsule. Something ancient still breathes. Now, let's take one step back. We started with a temple, built for all the gods, designed with jaw-dropping ambition. We uncovered how Roman engineers pulled off the impossible with their innovative concrete and mathematical precision. And we saw how one building has left its fingerprints on the whole entire modern world, from Washington to Paris and beyond. The Pantheon is more than stone and space. It's a symbol of what humans are capable of, even in the ancient world. It challenges the myth that progress only moves forward. Sometimes the ancients just got it right. Thank you so much for listening to Echoes of the Empire. I'm Eric Stanton, and I hope today you've seen how the oldest buildings still speak, and sometimes they say more than any textbook ever could. Until next time, keep your eyes open and keep looking up.